whatever you want, and like the more ridiculous, the better, probably. I'm excited. It should be fun.
That's good. I'm glad you guys were able to talk.
Yeah. And I linked her to the YouTube thing, so she can like watch some of them when she has a few minutes, and then we'll talk about it again in a little bit.
Okay, cool.
I am sorry that Avaris didn't get to see me sing.
Avaris didn't get to see you sing. Oh yeah.
Sing.
Yep, that was a pretty innovative moment. I like that a lot.
Crucial.
Lost forever in time.
Was this with the king?
No, it wasn't with the king. It was to which advisor was it to? Yellow.
The yellow.
Oh, Yellow Swan Song. Bungo sang to Yellow and then sent him off to his death.
I feel super bad for that guy.
Well, we can resolve that this evening. Okay, so is everybody cool? Everybody ready? I'll take that silence.
Play that beautiful
Yes.
theme music.
I don't know if Ulfgar's playing. He's been
coming.
busier and busier, which is part of the reason why I think maybe Nikki and someone else would be reasonable under the circumstances.
Okay.
So we'll see sort of what happens with that. But he's been fading. Just with life is just sort of like picked up for him. So
Life is slowly beating him down until he's as depressed as Ulfgar.
yeah, basically. So it just is becoming more and more troublesome for him like by the week to join us. So we'll see what happens. Anyway,
Let's play some theme music and get going.
yeah, let's do that.
Alrighty. I'm gonna mute Discord for the second, and then we'll load up on you guys. All right.
All right.
Yeah, and thank you, Bungo, for getting this cool thing for Make My Anthem. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Please work.
Awesome. Okay. All right, cool. So what we are going to do is we can start. Would someone like to give basically Lena and any viewers the rundown of what occurred last week? Someone, please.
I volunteer Avaris.
All right.
You are.
You've been volunteered as tribute, Avaris. Go.
So last week, we picked up at the start of a long rest with Jack and Oysten in tow. Made a lean-to. We didn't have any fire. Bungo, as usual, went up in a tree and decided not to take a watch. Avaris, not trusting that Sizzler wouldn't fall asleep on watch, decided to stay up the entire night on watch and take all of the watch shifts. In the middle of the night, there was a large shadow in the distance, and as whatever was casting the shadow got closer, it got smaller and smaller until it was very small, and at which point Avaris woke up the rest of the crew and moved to intercept it. So tried grabbing whatever it was and got stabbed in the hand by probably some kind of tiny spear or something like that. And then whatever it was managed to escape before he and Sizzler could capture it in a jar. The next morning, He did also deal some damage to it, and as did, I believe, Sizzler. So the next morning when Barnaby, the raccoon, came back around, he was not looking so good, but that's probably not related. So the crew set off again towards O-Town and ran into a camp of orcs. They tried to sneak around with some illusions by Bungo, which is our new cologne that is by the Batman. And it didn't work so well. So we didn't get into a fight with them immediately, though. We skirted around them and sort of ended up in a boggy, swampy area with lots of children's laughter coming from various places where there were no children. We decided we would prefer to take our chances with orcs, backtracked to them, and then decided to just make a mad dash through to get away, and finally made it to the road, ran away from the orcs who were pelting us with arrows and attacks as we made our escape. And finally, we made our way to O-Town, where we got embroiled in some side quests and some downtime.
That was really good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Forrest. Okay, so we have when I was putting together sort of the rough sketch of like what had to or what we needed to resolve tonight. There's like a lot of things to resolve tonight. I realized more than I had originally anticipated. So when you left off last week, after dropping Oysten off at the castle, it was evening. And I believe you wanted to rest that evening at the tavern or something along those lines. And then the next order of business was to approach the original quest giver that sent you to the Sunless Citadel. Is that everyone's general understanding? Yeah, I thought so. Oh yeah, except for Sizzler, you were not there for that, but sure. I mean, you weren't there for the original quest, but nonetheless. Okay, so if the group wants to set off doing that, I don't think that the map is going to be super relevant for this episode, but I recall where the general store was. Yeah, that was I think that was the general store? No, I can't remember. One of those is the general store.
It was either that one or this one.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely was one of those middle ones. Because the where the town like sheriff was down here of ours, because that's where you were when they were playing in the water. So it was
This
definitely
is good radio.
Yeah, it was definitely yeah, one of those two. Yeah. Okay, so is that where you guys are gonna head first thing in the morning after you wake up? Are you gonna do anything in the tavern?
Get some breakfast.
Sure. All right, so you can eat and do whatever you please, and by that time the general store will have opened, and Lady Hercule will be there whenever you are ready to go there and discuss your adventures or misadventures, depending on how it goes with her.
Shall we get this over with?
Yeah, does anyone want to take the lead on that, or is there something that you want to do before doing that? Anyone specific?
Nope.
All right. Someone take the lead on going to talk to Lady Hercule.
I believe Bungo still has the signet ring.
I do. Let's go talk to Hercule.
All right, so general store's open. You are free to go inside. It's opened early today, we'll say.
Does she recognize us at all?
She does. She recognizes some of you. She says, "Oh, Seems that you lost a few, gained a couple.
'Tis the way of the adventurer.
Well,
I'm
I
sure
was
you-
talking I was talking about your weight, Bungo, but
Oh.
Gained a few, lost a few. 'Tis the way of an adventurer.
I don't see.
Why?
And
What were
like
you?
she pauses when she like after she says, "I don't see." I don't see my children. Do I have to finish that sentence? I don't see my children.
Oh, yes. I didn't know if you had gone into a state or not. Being respectful. The unfortunately, we came across your children's remains, and I have unfortunately retrieved the signet ring marking their relation to you.
She
It
like
is
she throws her hand like over her forehead like backward, and she goes, "Oh, what a world! What a world!"
And we run around the counter to catch her as she gets the vapors.
Sure, which she most certainly does.
I'll,
I
I'll
know
catch her and help her back up.
Okay.
it's hard to take in, but know that your children died doing what they loved.
She says, which is what?
Exploring, questing. They had the itch. They
She
probably lived more in their few years than most live in their entire life. You were
she
truly blessed.
she seems to appreciate your kind words, more so than maybe she should. She holds her hand out for the signet rings.
Yeah, back.
Did you have both or just one? I can't remember.
I think we had both because both the kids were there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No,
she
I
holds-
think it was one old guy and then the girl. I don't think we ever found the boy.
No, both the kids were there. Because it was a
Oh, 'cause I-
3 on whatever fight, and then everybody bitched about how outrageous it was when the giant frog.
Whatever, one of them being the bad guy.
Yeah, one of them was the boss.
Yeah, this is the boss, the old guy, and the girl. And because I had been captured with all three of them,
Yeah.
the boy included, and I asked where he was, and the bad guy told us the goblins still had him, and we never found him.
Yeah, in our team treasure, we only have signet ring marked.
Okay.
He
So
doesn't need to know that.
well, you have to put it in her hand. So
Yeah.
she holds her hand out for the return of the rings that you just told her that you got both. So she holds her hand out.
Oh, I didn't know both. One, I had a ring. Yeah, I give her the ring.
Okay, and she looks at it and then looks at you and then looks at it and looks at you, and she says, "Only one?"
Yes, when we got to the children, unfortunately, only one was recoverable.
Bungo, she winks at you and she's like, "If you want one of your own, Bungo, this is not the way to do it."
No. I have no such need for rings. We have plenty of rings and things of the like. These belong to you. This belongs to you. And if I had the second one, I would be sure that it came back to you. Bungo always returns the treasure.
She
I give her a
seems
word back.
she seems to like recover from this devastating loss like with frightening speed. She takes out a small pouch from under the counter and she starts counting, like putting little piles of gold on the table. At first she puts out 5 piles of gold, and then she counts you guys, and as she's counting you, she stops with like her fingers on Sizzler as like the last one for the fourth, and she stops for a second, and she scrapes the one of the piles, the fifth pile, into the pouch, and she pushes a pile towards each of you, even you, Sizzler.
Yeah.
So you each get 125 gold pieces. Which she says, that was the deal. You bring back the rings, you get 125 gold pieces per ring per person. You brought me back one ring, and there are 4 of you. Each of you get 125 gold pieces.
It's very generous. But I can only. I feel that in such a time, it's not appropriate for me to take the full reward. I wanted to bring your children back. Minus expenses, and I push a significant portion of the pile back, and I take the gold piece.
Okay. She nods and pushes the gold that you push back to her back into the pouch.
Have you need to find a trusty, reliable adventuring group, or you hear anyone with any opportunities, please make sure to tell them of the living legend Bungo and his friends.
His Batman.
I refuse to say that. Never.
And she'll
But
just say, like,
Batman was a real thing that people had.
and she says, like, yes, when anyone asks me if they need adventurers to find their children who are presumably alive and not bring them back, I will be sure to spread the word about you, brave adventurers. She says,
And
like,
I quickly
very
take the 100
sarcastic.
extra, the 75 back in. That was not needed. That hurt. I have feelings too. I take the full-
She allows you to like take the extra. You like put your hand back out because she already like pushed it into the pouch. You put your hand back out after her sarcastic comment. She like smiles and drops the gold in your hand, and then she closes her purse back up and she's like, "It was worth it."
Not cool. Not cool.
So she's like, "So will you guys? Will any of you be needing anything else?"
Yes. I'm going to take out a piece of paper from my pocket and draw a symbol of the Batman on it and give it to her,
Okay.
and then walk away
All right.
like a business card.
She's like, "So do I
Oh.
shine a? Do I put this in front of a lantern and like put it in the sky, or how does this work?"
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll call us.
Oh,
Almost
you
like a signal.
you had something similar. I take out one of the many bungos that I made during my downtime, and I give her a wooden figurine.
All right. She places it on the counter, like prominently next to the cash register.
No. This is for your use. If you
Oh
ever,
God.
if you were to ever run into one of our associates, it is appropriate that you have this. So that
She, like, very tentatively takes it from your hand, like, sort of.
people who carry this are carried in the highest of regard across the road.
She says, I doubt it, but okay. So, anything to buy, anything to sell?
How much do we still have our group loot?
Yep.
Yes.
Why don't we get rid of some of that?
I believe the potted tree is no longer there because I think that was the twig blight that we.
Yes.
Yeah, but we still have like a bunch of other stuff.
Sizzler will waddle up to the counter and he'll pull out a shovel.
Okay. So she just stares at you like this strange creature coming up, silently pulling out a shovel in front of her.
I said, how much?
She's like, are you trying to sell that, little guy?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd you say?
I said, yes, ma'am.
So she takes it out of your hand. She reaches across and sort of takes it out of your hand as like inspecting it. And she says, "How much do you want for it? Is it special at all? Does it have magic?"
Super magic.
She is eyeing it skeptically.
I divided up the party gold from the team treasure sheet. Everybody would get 158 from that, except Lena gets an extra 50. There's something that says 50 GP for Lena on there, so I'm assuming that's her.
Cool.
Oh, that was from last session where what did Jack pay everyone or something?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, so John, I'm sorry if you said something I got to cut out. So she's skeptical of your magic shovel.
I mean, I'm just gonna wait for her to offer something. Not gonna say
Okay.
anything.
So she opens up her purse for a second, and she takes 1 silver out and puts it on the counter in front of you.
Frown, shake my head. Mm-mm.
She takes 1 more silver out and puts it on the counter in front of you.
For the shovel.
Okay, she gives you the shovel back and pulls the silver back into her pouch.
Then I'll grunt really loudly and pull out a giant troll head and plop it on the counter.
Her eyes light up and she puts 25 gold pieces on the counter. Like just in a handful. She like reaches in, describes a handful of gold, and puts it on the counter. It's 25 gold.
Unhappily and cheer. Thank you.
She like super excitedly like takes the uses her whole body to like pick the bloody troll head up and like puts it on the counter behind her, behind sort of the counter that you guys are standing at. There's like one behind her as well. That's like leaning against the wall, and she puts it on that, and she looks super psyched.
What about these 2 silver rings, silver amulet, and this ornate dagger?
Let's see. You got those in the...
There's also a fine elf statue.
Fine elf statue, 1 onyx gem, and 4 rubies.
Okay, so the
Whoa.
dagger...
Some of those are exclusively held by Sizzler.
That's not how I have it, because I literally have 4
I don't
rubies.
care how you have it. Some of them are exclusively in Sizzler's possession.
Okay, so which ones? Let's divvy it out. Which ones are exclusively in Sizzler's possession?
Sizzler has the rubies, all 4 of them, because he took them from Bungo. Remember?
I remember that. Yes.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I remember
I do
that.
remember that as well. Sure. Totally. Got that.
And 2 silver rings and a silver amulet.
Okay. So
The
Bungo,
dagger is not Sizzler's. He doesn't
Okay.
have that.
Okay, so you have the so if you could take those off the shared sheet, please, whoever's controlling it, and then so are you put the ceremonial dagger onto the counter? Bungo?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. She eyes it. She takes out like one of those like one-eyed like jeweler things.
Loop.
Yeah. But it's sure. And she's like looking at it close and like scanning up and down, and she looks at you, and then she looks back at it, and she pushes 50 gold pieces onto the counter in front of you, Bungo.
Wasn't paying attention. What'd you say?
She basically examines it very closely and then pushes 50 gold pieces in front of you on the counter.
Yeah, we're into that.
All right, fair trade. She takes the dagger. She puts it on the shelf behind her next to the giant troll head that she's in love with. I mean, not literally. Like, she's just very excited to have. I'll put it that way. Anything? She's like, anything else?
Yeah.
Any other trades? Any other sales?
I have a spell scroll, a fairy fire, a club, and a dragon statuette.
The dragon statuette. Okay, so she says, I'm not interested in scrolls per se, but I can give you a nominal amount of gold for them. The statuette, she
Oh,
does the same.
I'm
What?
keeping track of the amount of gold we're getting from selling these things on the party
Yeah.
sheet to divide up.
Okay,
good.
so the statuette, she same thing. She goes through the whole song and dance. She takes out the jeweler's loop. She inspects it. She looks up and down and up and down, and she takes out 20 gold pieces and puts it on the counter in front of you, Lena.
Cool. And the club?
Is it just like a wooden club?
Yep.
She puts 2 silver on the counter for the club.
That's not even worth my time. I throw it in the corner of her store.
Okay. She adds the 2 silver to the pile.
Okay.
I
She
have
just,
that fine elf
scoops it,
statue.
scoops it all up into one. The fine elf statue. She again goes through same thing. She's checking very closely to see sort of the value and what it's worth and all of those important pieces. She puts 25 gold pieces onto the counter and she looks up at you.
Do I think she's trying to get one over on me that it's worth more than that based on her reaction?
Roll an insight. Yes, you do believe that it is worth more than that.
A lot?
You can't tell how much more, but you do believe that it is worth more than that.
Oh, I want to do the same thing with my dragon thing.
Too late. All sales are final. She points to the sign. There's the sign behind her that says all sales are final.
That's rude.
She shrugs.
Come now, Madam Hercule. We both know that the statue is worth much more than.
She says, I don't know about much. Let me examine it again. And she starts like looking at up and down, similar to how she did it before. She takes her time. She takes like an annoyingly long time, and she pushes another 10 gold pieces onto the table. And she says, I think this is the best I can do. So you have 35 gold pieces in front of you right now.
Yeah, okay.
All right. She pushes the gold pieces even further toward you. She takes a statue and she puts it on the counter behind her.
Isler reaches into his bag and says, have I got something for you? Pulls out the gold embossed tome.
Ooh, she looks pretty excited without even touching it. And she puts out another 25 gold pieces.
Does that seem... does that seem like she knows that it's been is? I'll ask that.
I think that I don't know that. I mean, she hasn't opened it or anything. As far as like, do you still have it in your hand, or did you give it to her?
I didn't give it to her. I'm holding it out.
Yeah, so she doesn't know what it is. She just saw like she saw the outside of it, the gold embossed tome, and she put out 25 gold pieces, which just seems to sort of be like her standard. Like, this is shiny. Like from her merchant experience, this is shiny. It's probably worth at least 25 gold pieces, sort of an offer.
Yeah. So I'll say, interesting offer, but let me show you more. And I start turning the pages of the tome.
She does not. She like nods and she points to the pile that she put out.
I'll say, okay, and I'll start slowly putting it back in my bag, giving her opportunity to change her mind, perhaps.
Yeah, she takes 1 gold piece out and adds it to the top of the pile.
I'm stuffing it in the bag.
All right, you put it back in your bag? Sorry, John, you cut out for a second. Did you put it back in your bag or?
Yes.
Okay. All right, she scoops the 26 gold pieces back into her pouch. She sort of looks at you guys expectantly. Anything else?
I
Pull out an
believe
ear
we
of
still have
corn.
an onyx gem.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that bad boy.
All right, so you put an onyx gem. Is that Sizzler's onyx gem, or is that just like a? I'm just trying to.
It's a loose gem that
That
we
was
usually
the
give as.
that was the one that caused all the drama.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
Definitely not Lena, the gem.
yeah, sure, yeah, certainly, right.
Truly, truly outrageous.
Yeah. So she puts 5 gold pieces on the counter and goes, standard price for onyx.
This isn't typical onyx.
What's so special about it?
It does dragon things.
It does dragon things. Well, I don't see any dragons here, so 5 gold pieces.
10.
Standard onyx price, 5 gold pieces.
Nope. Lena takes them.
Okay, she shrugs.
All right, you owe the group 5 gold pieces, Lena. I don't want to have to worry about this later.
Fine.
All right, she pushes the 5 gold pieces toward you. She puts the onyx again with the other goods that she's purchased.
No, I'm pretty sure Lena just wanted to give us 5 gold pieces. That's how I took
Correct.
it. Is that?
Oh, okay. All right, sure. That's fine. Lena basically gives everyone in the group 1 gold piece, except for herself.
Well, and then the 2 goes in the pot, plus then we're keeping track of everything else, so that matters.
Okay.
Oh, but she's going to get a portion of the 2 that went in the pot.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's fine.
We'll
Let's not
take
worry
out
that
one
much about
extra
that.
one. We'll just take out 1 gold piece for her, and then we'll put it back in the pot.
All right, so again, looks at you expectantly.
I have listed on Team Treasure gold bag, but I don't know if that's just a bag for gold or if it's a finely embroidered bag.
No, I don't believe that you got a finely embroidered bag, so it's probably just a bag like that you were holding gold in or something.
All right, I'm going to get rid of that then. There was 20 silver pieces held by pin wrap ribbon pieces.
Yeah, he died with them.
The silver pieces also died, and they're
Yes.
no longer. They don't spend any.
No. Nope. It was like his soul. If you like could take a zoom out Shadow Realm like picture of the scenario, it's like
If Tritons had souls, yeah.
right, like his soul is like escaping his body, and then you see like these 20 small souls escaping the silver pieces as they all perish.
Is it 100 gold per platinum or 10 gold per platinum?
10.
Okay. Can I change out for some platinum?
Yeah, she's happy to change
Yeah.
out for you. There's an exchange rate though.
I hope it's 100%.
Yeah.
Just a small fee.
She winks at you and she's like, "For you, Bungo, it'll be. I'll let you guys. Since you helped me out, I'll change you out at 1-1. So you can change out with her. She's giving you an opportunity right now to change out any gold, silver, etc. at a 1-to-1 basis with her.
Everybody is also going to get 85 silver, 5 copper.
85 silver, you said?
Yeah, and 5 copper.
Okay. So when we break up the second round of gold, how much is it?
26 gold, 7 silver, 5 copper.
Wait, what? We each get 85 or we each get 26?
26 gold pieces, 85 silver pieces, and 5.
10 copper pieces total.
10 copper, 85 silver, 26 gold.
92 silver, but yes.
What? Why does it keep going up every time we
Because
talk?
that one just went
Because
up.
I'm adding in everything. Don't worry about it. Just trust me on the math. I swear to God.
110.
Yeah,
silver.
40 million. Okay, 80 million.
And
Okay,
the silver is like Ulfgar's and Bell. But trust me, I've done the math, so those are the total.
Okay, explain it again because I'm not following.
You're getting 10 copper because
Okay.
it was 26.75 gold divided. And then the silver also had a 0.5 on it, which means that's 10 copper total, those 0.5s. And then you got 80 silver from the actual silver division. You got 7 silver from when we broke up the remaining
You
gold.
don't have to tell me where it came from. Just tell me how much I'm adding to my sheet. You're confusing me.
26 gold,
Okay.
92 silver, 10 copper.
And we still have in our possession these rings and amulets. Is that correct?
No, I think that those are in Sizzler's possession.
Okay. So Sizzler, anything that is in your possession specifically, put that in your inventory, and we can get rid of it out of the team trip.
I have it all in there.
Okay, now before we leave, I'm gonna get some of those 2d4 plus 2 health potions. So how much does she charge for those, Wiz?
What is it say in the like? What is the standard price for them? That's what she
I
charges
think
you.
they're worth 50.
50 gold?
Shit's magical.
Never mind, I'll just die.
Cost is 50.
Never mind.
All right.
I mean, I guess I could buy some. I don't have anything else. There's no like magic items that she has
She does not have any magic item.
outside of a shovel.
Well, did she passed on the magic shovel?
So yeah, I'll take 2 of those potions.
Okay. She holds out her hand for 100 gold and has 2 potions in her other hand.
She doesn't happen to have any other potions back there.
She says, maybe, what are you looking for?
What you got?
What are you looking for?
Standard stuff. Invulnerability, mind reading, speed, poison, water breathing, giant strength, clairvoyance, resistance, heroism, invisibility, invulnerability.
She shook her
all
head
the
no
good
for
stuff.
she shook her head no for all of them but poison. She like ponders for a second. She's like, might have some poison laying around here somewhere.
Considering I didn't say poison, that's interesting.
You
Oh,
did say
definitely said
poison.
poison.
You said poison.
It's a poison resistance, I thought.
Oh, I didn't hear you say resistance. No, she doesn't
Yeah.
have any poison resistance.
I mean, poison. What kind of poison you got? The
The
standard old poison?
Yeah, the poison
Rat.
kind. The poison kind of poison.
All right. Well,
The kind that
I'll
poisons
take one
people.
of those.
Okay.
What's that cost?
25 gold pieces.
Okay.
It's cheaper to drink poison than it is to heal yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
She winks
sense.
at Lena.
That makes sense.
Hey!
she
That's rude.
She
How
mu-
would she know?
because you just said out loud, I'd rather die or something.
Ooh, does she have any ball bearing?
Yep, she definitely has ball. She like picks up this like she tips over a barrel like just a little bit, and you just see it's filled to the brim with ball bearings.
And caltrops?
She flips the top off the barrel next to it, and it's just filled to the top with caltrop.
Climbing tool.
She kicks like a crate next to her, and the top falls off, and it's climbing tools.
Awesome. I would like climbing tools and 3 of the ball bearings and 3 of the caltrops. And while I'm at it, I'll have another manacle.
Okay. Wait. Another health pot.
Manacles.
Oh, okay. So she throws it. You just want 3 ball bearings and 3 caltrops?
3 bags.
Oh, 3 bags. Okay, so she sells it all to you at whatever the standard price of those things are.
Okay. Cool. I will get you.
I don't think we have anybody who's like yoked as fuck anymore consistently with us, so maybe we should pick up a crowbar.
I'm on it. Sounds sneaky to me.
She just hands you a crowbar, Bungo, and winks at you.
Also sweet.
Super wink heavy.
Lena's gonna ask her if she's got something wrong with her eye.
That's how people convey something. Her eyes just.
She scowls at you, Lena. She says, "Do you have something wrong with your face?" And she points to your mask.
I wink at her with my mask.
She doesn't respond because she can't see you winking.
Rude.
Do you stock arrows?
Of course, I stock arrows. She's just like she like just points to like the walls where there's just like just bags of arrows all over the place.
Supermarket sweepstake that shit.
All right, buy as many arrows as you would like per the like whatever they typically cost. She'd be happy to sell
Does
them
she
to
have
you.
any special arrows?
She like, she sort of looks at you blankly for a minute. Special arrows?
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Okay, anything
Actually,
else?
Avaris, I no longer need my arrows. Do you want mine?
Sure.
I have 27.
Sweet. Thanks.
For that matter, I have this short bow that I also don't need.
No thanks.
Would the lady of the shop like to buy a lightly used, finely crafted short bow?
Yeah, 2 silver. 2 silver seems to be her standard price for like used random base level weapons or like, shovels and things of that nature. Tools.
The tough bargain there, but that's she can have short bow.
All right, she happily accepts. She pushes 2 silver toward you. All right, so does anyone want to do anything else?
I believe we were instructed to come back to the castle today and see there might be more work for us, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you're asking, yes, there was, the ruler had, oh, sorry, one second. The ruler, had, oh, no, you're right. So when you dropped Oysen off, that's what happened. When you dropped Oysen off, you had asked for some sort of payment or to discuss it with Oysen's father, something along those lines. And so the individual who you spoke with had instructed you to come back the next day. You also did want to speak with the ruler, I guess, while you're at the castle as well.
Oh, before we go, can I buy a whole bunch of new rations?
Sure.
I want new rations.
Okay. Yep. Whatever standard prices you can buy. She has as many as you want to buy.
Awesome.
5 silver pieces per day.
All right. So it seems like you guys are wrapping up. So she thanks you for your both your aid. She says that a little bit sarcastically in completing the quest, and also your participation in merchant activities with her. And she bids you farewell, so long as you have nothing else to do.
Farewell.
Austin.
She waves.
To be back.
Then, okay, so if you guys want to head to the castle, is that the next order of business?
Sounds like it.
All right, so let's take like a 5-minute bio break, and then we can go to the castle. BRB. Okay. Boom. Okay, let me know when everyone is back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yep.
I made it longer than I thought I would. I really thought I wasn't even going to make it 30 minutes, and I made it 45. New record.
Without peeing.
Too much water. Let's see. I think we're just waiting for Bungo. Hmm. Bungo, where are you?
Oh, Bungo, where art thou?
Bungo. Where?
Oh, I've been here.
Oh.
Awkward.
Okay. All right, problem solved. Okay, so the group sets out. It's a little bit before midday, and the group sets out for the castle. You arrive at the castle. As you recall, there's a drawbridge, which was heavily guarded the last time you were there, and it's still guarded, but the guards are not blocking people from passing. There's people coming and going, merchants and common folk and guards, etc. It seems like during the day the castle is pretty much open for people to come and go as they please. So, what would you guys like to do?
Go inside.
All right, so you go across the drawbridge, and you enter this like very very large courtyard area with you see a large actual sort of what you think of as a traditional castle. And then you see smaller buildings that populate the left side of the courtyard and the right side of the courtyard. And the smaller buildings are what most of the people are coming and going from. It seems like maybe those are more like the administrative functions of the town leadership, the council, the court. Things of that nature, and then you also, but there are a couple guards standing in front of the castle proper.
Approach the guards in front of the inner key.
Okay, they put one of them, the one sort of standing in front, holds his hand out, and he says, "State your business."
We're the adventurers who returned Oisin. We were told to present ourselves to discuss compensation.
Oisin. And he like turns and gestures to the one of the guards behind him, who scurries off. He's like, "It'll be a minute."
Wonderful day we're having, isn't it?
He looks down at you like through his helmet, and then looks back forward, like just staring past you.
No, not for you.
Doesn't respond.
Do your troubles keep you down?
He's
You know-
like he's like the guards at Buckingham Palace, where like he's just like
Except
not
he speaks.
except for he spoke that one time, and he otherwise just poof, stare straight ahead. So Bungo harasses this poor man for a few more minutes, and then the
I
gentleman
do no such thing.
verbally assaults this poor guard
Ugh.
for several minutes until the gentleman who had escorted Oyson into the castle the night before, Chamberlain Rooney, who he comes out and he gestures for you all to come to him inside of the sort of the foyer of the keep.
I will follow.
All right, the guards just let you pass. Does everyone else follow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make it into the foyer of the keep, and Chamberlain Rooney says, so what can I do for you all?
There was a conversation of some compensation for recovering Oyson from the work.
And I believe the compensation discussed was, would you like to keep the boy?
No, that was said in jest.
That you you thought, oh no, I was not kidding.
But it was not you, right? It was this dude. That was like some other guy that came.
No, this is the guy. This is Chamberlain Rooney, the guy who came down and took Oyson essentially from you. And
Yeah, but he also said that we would have to talk to. He wasn't able to discuss everything.
Right.
We would have to talk to another.
Oyson's father, right?
Yes, you told us to come back to talk to his father, and that's what we're here to do.
Sure, I spoke with Oyson's father last night. He's very dismayed at his son's return, and he suggested that you take the boy.
Well,
I mean, if you really want compensation.
We did try to talk to you last time, and it was not successful. Perhaps you best retrieve your master now.
Is that a suggestion or a threat?
No threats. But to resolve this matter, I think it'd just be quicker to move around the middleman who is you.
Unfortunately, small friend, that is not an option. I was sent by Oyson's father to, we'll say, resolve this matter with you. Now, Oyson is a thorn in his father's side, we shall say. And,
How so?
well,
A living ale successor?
Oyson has several brothers, so not so much in the regard in which I believe you're alluding to. It's more that Oyson, well, I'm not much for rumor, but it's widely believed that Oyson killed his mother. And Oyson's mere presence is enough to drive his father into a rage. So typically, he lives in a monastery, not close to this location, and only rarely travels here for certain holidays. He was on his way back, and you wonderful people, back to the monastery, and you wonderful people brought him back to his father. So let's just say that Oyson's not really welcome here.
That's fine. We would be happy to escort him back to his real home. However, of course, compensation is thus required. It seems that the people you sent previous were not up to such task.
Let's just say that if the next people are not up to task and Oyson doesn't survive, I don't think his father would lose any sleep.
Well, if that was the case, you would just kill him outright. Seems your words betray you.
Well, that is not my place, sir.
Yes, it is his father's place. And yet another reason why you are not. You do not have the authority to talk on it. But, like I said, we will escort the boy for compensation. Now, go run along to your master and figure out the proper price. He not need spare another man on his son's behalf. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
He snaps his fingers, and a few of the guards in the foyer like sort of snap to attention, and two of them walk over to his side, and he just says, "The answer is no. So if there's anything else," and he like trails off and like looks at the group.
Fine, we will have the boy.
Wonderful. I'll have the boy sent.
Why not? And I look at the group, shrug my shoulders, huh? Boy?
What?
Seems better than leaving him here to rot.
Sizzler's not even paying attention. He's just kind of daydreaming.
See, Sizzler's for it. Navarre's.
This was for it.
Chancellor Rooney, is there perhaps any other work that needs doing?
Yes, I have heard tale that the ruler, a rumor of your, we'll call it a mixed success with regard to Lady Hercule's children, has made its way to the ruler's ear, and he is sort of has a situation of his own that he would like to speak to you about.
The Chancellor not know the ruler's name?
You dare not speak it.
Yes. He dare not speak the ruler's name. He's far too powerful of a man to have his
Lord
name
O of O-Town?
to have his name spoken aloud.
Clearly,
by a
his name is Big O.
Oh man.
by a mere servant. Oh,
Who
by a
wears
mere,
a dope ass suit.
yeah, by a mere chamberlain. And so after he says that, he sort of points to the left through sort of the large archway that is guarded fairly heavily, and he says, "The ruler is through there. The guards won't give you any trouble."
I give a small bow and say, "Thank you, Chancellor."
Perhaps is there any provisions or any? Is there a scroll of nobility that we can see to make sure that he is indeed who you say he is?
The Chamberlain Rooney like looks at you confused.
Yes. How do I not know that you're just giving us some other kid to deal with? It is normal for nobility to have scrolls of pedigree.
He
Yes,
like
you do not.
No, it like dawns on him for a second that you're talking about Oisin, and he sort of shrugs and says like, "I'll have his things prepared."
Okay, but specifically, do you have a scroll of pedigree? So when we present him to the monastery, they know who he is.
He doesn't even respond to you. He just sort of turns to walk away.
You're a jerk.
He gives you the finger as he walks away. He doesn't even turn around.
Oh,
He
so
just
you
gives you the
can hear, huh?
He just gives you the finger behind his head.
Nice to know your ears work.
I begin nudging the group towards the archway.
Okay, so Avaris, do you go through the archway?
Yeah, I will attempt to.
All right, so you walk past several guards into this like very large throne room, where the king, the ruler, which I should say he's not a king per se, but the ruler sits on a large throne, and it's just one throne, and it's a very large room, very ornate, and he sees you and sort of beckons you all forward as he sees you walk through the door.
I will approach to a respectable distance and give a like a 45-degree angle bow at the waist.
Sure. What's everyone else doing?
Scissor's gonna follow in slowly, but he's got his head down and he's talking to himself in a female elf voice. But what if I? No, that won't work. What if I?
I'm just waiting for Orson.
All right, so you don't even go in, Bungo?
I mean, I followed the group.
Okay,
But I'm not doing anything other than waiting.
I see. All right, so the king, after Alina, what are you doing?
I'm following everyone.
Okay, do you bow or anything?
Nope.
Okay, so the
Oh.
king,
I missed the part that we were in front of the king.
yeah.
I should
Oh
pay attention
yeah,
more.
I'll bow.
King now,
Okay.
king ruler.
No, sorry, ruler. Okay, ruler. All right. He's a ruler. He's not. He's not a king. He's a ruler. But I mean, I guess.
Oh no, I don't bow.
Okay. Whatever.
Bow retracted.
Yeah. Okay, so Avaris bows, I suppose. If anyone else bows, that's fine. The ruler, he says, "Welcome, honored guests. I have heard tale of your interaction, shall we say, with Lady Hercule and your adventure to the Sunless Citadel, the Great Batman." He like puts his fist in the air.
That's not an official name, but continue.
Yes, it is.
He points at Lena and gives her a thumbs up and whistles. And
That's not appropriate. That's not.
I give him 2 finger guns.
and
Yeah.
That's not how you treat women. You don't just whistle at them anytime you want.
and a like a servant boy like runs over to the ruler, and he hands him like a scroll and a quill and like an ink well, and then he gets on all fours, and the ruler unravels the scroll on the servant's back and starts like scribbling away at the scroll. And after several minutes, he whistles again, and another servant boy brings over a seal, like wax, and a big seal, and he seals it. And yeah, one of those seals with tusks or no.
He clubs a baby seal.
Yeah, he clubs a baby seal and uses its blood to sign the other seal. Then he rolls up the scroll and he beckons. He holds the scroll out with one hand. He shoos the servant boys away, and he holds it out and sort of like points at Lena.
I'll go take it.
Okay.
Can I open it?
Yep.
I open it.
Okay. It is an official guild like commendation for an official guild in his sort of the area in which he rules, entitled the Batman.
Awesome.
By decree of the ruler of O-Town and the surrounding areas, Orlando.
Does it list who the leader is?
It does not list who the leader is, but there's like a blank space for
Count
like
Miami-Dade.
for owner.
So on owner, I'm gonna write Lena. And then I'm like, as the leader of the Batman, thank you.
He winks. So you can add one
charter.
Yeah, one guild charter, owner, Lena, into your inventory. for the Batman. It's official.
You
To
suck.
Bunko's dismay.
Sorry, Buggy, you've been out maneuvered.
So what if we change to Bat People to be more inclusive?
Batman.
Bat folk.
The great and mighty Orlando has spoken. You are now the Batman, and you are ruled by the great and powerful woman leader, Lena.
We don't rule like that. That's not how this goes.
Excuse me, Bungo. I would disagree and say that we do, in fact, rule.
The Orlando shrugs. Doesn't matter to him.
We're the
He says-
Batmen. That's us. And we rule.
He says, now that it's official, I have another order of business that I would like to take up with the newly formed or newly official Batman.
Yes, how can we be of service?
Who are these Batmen that you speak of?
He just totally is ignoring you now. He's only talking to like basically as the leader. He recognizes a leader, and he is like looking right at Lena and like just having a conversation with
Is there a leader of cola that she's holding? Is that what's going on?
So so he goes on to offer you a quest. He had sent emissaries across the sea to a sister town that about the war, that orcs were invading the area, were encroaching on the territory, and he had heard tale through sort of back channels that the sister kingdom, if you will, was also having troubles with similar troubles with their territory being invaded as well. And he sent an emissary there, like several months ago, we'll say, or a month ago, and the emissary did not return. The timetable for return is typically fairly short. You can get there, spend a few days or a week there, and get back within that time frame. And that's typically the time frame for short diplomatic missions such as that. And he just did not return, and he has not heard anything. All back channel conversations have ceased, and he cannot seem to get any information about what's going on with his sister city or what happened to his emissary. The ship did not return. No information has returned. This has left him feeling obviously worried, and not only about his sister city, but also about his emissary and what that means for the future, that these sort of two pillars, these two shining pillars of culture, in his opinion, could be...
Orlando, and what's the other city's name? Is it Jacksonville?
No. It's Curitiba, or something along those lines. Yes, and it's across the sea. And so he's concerned that these two pillars of culture, essentially, in his opinion, could be under siege, so much so that they can't even communicate with one another. And if they can't communicate with one another, they obviously can't send aid or things of that nature. And so he's concerned, and he would like you to sail across the sea to get some information to them and to bring back, if possible, or send back information to him about sort of what's going on and what happened to his emissary.
Yeah, we can do that. How many emissaries did you send?
He said, I sent one official emissary, but he has, obviously he travels with a small group of servants and other individuals who are employed to sort of help him in his cause, right? He has his own sort of group employees and servants and cooks and chefs and tailors, etc., that go with him.
Right. What's his name?
He like stops for a second and takes a deep breath. And he says, he was a good friend of mine. And I really hope that he's okay. We grew up together. His name is Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
He's like visibly dismayed now.
Jackson, what? There's just so many Jacksons in this world.
His last name is Ville. Jacksonville. He's like a small tear rolls down his cheek.
I'll tell him I'm sorry about Jackson. I am for real.
He seems to take some solace in your attempt to reach out to him. Then he sort of goes on to say that the next ship that is large enough to travel the distance necessary to get to Curitiba, or how much?
Curitiba?
Yeah, Curitiba is should arrive in approximately 30 days, and he will pay your he will cover sort of all of the fees necessary for your travel there, and also ensure that you have a ticket to return if necessary, and so you don't have to worry about that. He apologizes that the ship, you'll be roughing it a little bit on the ship. It's not a fancy, royal ship as he would hope that he could send you along with under normal circumstances, but the timing for that is just not available under the circumstances with sort of the wars and sort of the chaos that's broken out in the area.
We're used to caves. It's fine.
So he says, in approximately 30 days, the ship will arrive at port, and you can board the ship and go down to the port, and I will send notice to the ship's captain and crew to welcome you on board and to take you to our sister city.
Your lordship, if I may, how long does this ship journey usually take?
Well, it usually takes, approximately a week, but it depends from ship to ship. From ship to ship, from crew to crew, how the winds blow and the ocean fares. It's difficult to say.
Avaris turns slightly green at the mention of winds blowing.
Orlando sort of looks at you, and then he starts to you see him lift his back up a little bit and his mouth and cover his mouth. He's like, please don't. When someone else does that, it's just, please.
I'll fight it down.
And then he starts going he's covering his mouth a little bit more. He's like, turn around or something. Stop. Geez, stop. When someone else
fight it down.
When someone else goes, I go. It's like one of those things. All right, so he looks at you. Is there any other order of business? He says, I've also covered your accommodations for the next 30 days at the town tavern, food, drink, and lodgings.
Thank you, your lordship.
That is generous. Thank you.
He nods.
Okay,
And then,
cool.
yeah.
I leave.
Okay, yep. He's like, I have other business to attend to, so have a wonderful stay. Prepare yourself over the next 30 days for the upcoming adventure, and best of luck.
Neat. Thanks.
All right, so you guys, as we have discussed previously, the Batmen now each individually have approximately 30 days to accomplish a series of whatever you want to accomplish essentially. And we've sort of discussed individually what each of you do over the next 30 days. So who would like to go first? No one wants to go first. Okay, so
Lena will go.
okay, great, perfect. All right, Lena, so what do you do? And for yours, I'm gonna have you do some just straight up and down rolls. But what do you do over your 30-day break? Approximately 30-day break.
I will research and try to figure out how to, 1, turn back into a girl, and 2, get rid of this tree disease that I have.
Sure. So you are going to work with Jack, the famed and skilled apothecary and doctor, at resolving these 2 issues, I would
Yep.
imagine. Okay,
Yep.
great. So Jack is happy to accommodate and to have a sort of a fellow researcher work with him. And can you roll me 5d10? Oh, okay. Okay. So you so prior to you when you had asked him previously when you were on the road, right? He said that he could cure your male to female magical transition or female to male magical transition, but it would cost approximately 50 gold. Due to you working side by side with him, you become closer, you become very friendly, and he appreciates the time and energy that you're expending in helping him research his topics. So he provides you with the cure for free, out of pocket. You're essentially he's employing you, if you will, as a researcher. So
Cool.
he provides you with the cure for that. Do the same thing for your roll for another 5d10. Yep, great. Okay, so he does the same thing for your sort of wood disease. He gives you a series of potions, 10, and he says drink 1 each day, and at the end of the course of medicine, you should all of the effects should be reversed.
Neat. I drink them all, as he prescribed.
Okay, I was like, oh no.
Not following the dosing directions is drug abuse, and that's illegal,
That's
folks.
right. And then like we have to do the
The more you know.
GI Joe, like the thing at the end.
Well, it's power.
Yeah. Okay, so great. So you have 10 days. You have to. I want you to say, Lena, in each of the day sessions that you drink the potion, and that'll be your acknowledgement that you are following Jack's instructions. But if you do that, after 10 days, you will be completely cured.
Yes, she does that.
Okay, well, it's going to be on you to recall to every day say that you drink a potion. I'm just letting you know.
Wait, in this session or for the next 10
Oh,
sessions
no.
every time?
No. Actually, that's not going to work because you're going to be there for 30 days. What I mean is that at the end of the 30 days, right, he gives you the set. Okay?
Okay.
So not each session, just each day. So if this session is 10 days, 10 long rests or whatever, just say, all right, I drink a potion or what have you.
Okay.
It's going to be like a check that Lena has to do. Not like a roll check, but like I want her to actively solve.
This is the hardest challenge that will ever come up in this campaign.
For Lena.
This is the hardest challenge.
Are you excited,
No
Lena?
combat will even compare.
I'm gonna be a tree.
That's sort of what I'm implying. Okay, so if you don't do it properly. Okay, so did you ever make a decision? This is like sidebar a little bit, but did you ever make a decision about your class?
Yeah, she's just gonna stay as she is.
Okay, if you want to change in the future, just let me know and we can talk about it. It's not a big deal.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right. So Lena's is resolved. Would Bungo or Varus like to go next?
Oh wait, hold on.
Sure.
So, am I a girl again?
Yeah, you're a girl again. Yes.
Okay, cool.
You're a girl again, and you took your first anti-tree potion, and
Tree mage.
anti-tree plague potion, and you're starting to get a little more movement out of that arm.
Oh, so it's 9 days now.
Yeah, it's 9 days. If you drink one after he gives them to you, which is fine.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, so Bungo or Avaris?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
I would like to speak to whoever is actually responsible for the care of Oisin and offer my services as a tutor of history and religious studies.
Sure. So you speak to again Chamberlain Rooney. When you sort of inquire about Oisin, you're directed to Chamberlain Rooney's office, and he doesn't want much to do with your Oisin, basically, or the conversation, but he sort of directs you down the hall to where Oisin is staying, and says, "Yep, the boy's over there. Do as you please."
I will walk down the hall to that door and
Yep, Oisin answers the door, and he says, "Hi, sir."
Oisin, I understand you are normally living at a monastery. Do you know how to read?
So, yep, I'm very good at reading, sir.
I understand you probably are not receiving any lessons while you're here. If you're interested, I could tutor you in history and perhaps religious studies.
He nods, pretty aggressively.
Show me to the library and we'll begin.
So he walks like 4 steps over to like the corner of his room where there are like just books on a shelf, and he like points and he's like, he like looks nervously at the door that you walked in from. He's like, "Yeah, I was instructed not to leave this room."
Very well. Is there a library in this?
He says, "Yeah, there is. I think there's several, but I don't have access to any of them. So, sometimes I can ask the guards for books, and if they're feeling happy, they'll bring me 1 or 2.
Well, technically, Chancellor Rooney has appointed me as a tutor, so I may be able to get some actual books. What are you interested in?
I like plants, and I like bugs, and I like flying machines."
I think I've got some research papers from that plant druid from the Sunless Citadel. It was in, I think, the alchemy room that Lena burned down.
Oh yeah, you
Not to be
definitely took a
confused
bunch
with
of
that
notes.
other room that Lena burned down.
Or the
Um,
the other
library that
room,
Lena burned down.
the one
Right.
that Lena burned down, and then the other room that Lena burned down and then turned into ice, I think.
Yes.
Got it.
So I'll pull out those novel new research papers and say, well, I guess we can get cracking with this.
He seems psyched.
We'll dig in.
All right. Also, the Chancellor Rooney gives you access to the 2, like essentially what amounts to like public libraries for elite people who live inside of the castle walls. He gives you access to those as well, but not the private library in the keep. So you guys really have like a great opportunity to study and read, and Oysen learns a lot, and you do as well. You, in the public library, you find a book that gives you a, well, hold on, do the same thing as Leonard. Give me 5 d10 rolls.
Wow.
Yeah, you crushed it. Okay, so you find a book that gives you +1 to history checks.
Dope.
All right. And then, is there anything else you wanted to do aside from the side quest that you did
No,
with
that's
Bungo? Okay. Bungo, what do you do, again, aside from the quest that you and Avaris did?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So it sounds like you took care of Orson there. Are we gonna have, since it's 30 days, I imagine we try to return him in that time. Orson to the monastery.
I think we can probably actually just Bungo, I don't know that it's actually necessary to return Oysen to the monastery, and it's probably better for the boy if he
So are you talking
doesn't
about
have the opportunity to visit here again.
here? Are you talking about killing him now?
No.
Because that's what it sounds like. So are you then, I guess the other option, are you talking about keeping a human child? Are you going to raise a boy in your image?
I would raise him in his own image.
So yes, you're talking about keeping a boy on dangerous adventures?
Is it really that much more dangerous than leaving him at a monastery when there's a holy war going on around?
Yes. See, because he would be in a monastery comparatively to being on the front lines. That seems safer. And when they do get attacked and they move, they would take him with them. Whereas we would just take him to the next battle. But hey, if you want his death on your conscience, sure.
Bongo, I'm not intending to bring a child into a dungeon. I put him up at an inn.
Wait here, kid with abandonment issues. We'll be back in some time. You're going to be great at this. All right, so you don't want to return him. Is that correct?
Correct.
That should be fun. I can't wait till Sizzler has someone he just constantly wants to put in his bag. This will be fun. What a great decision by you. In no way, shape, or form do we regret
put him
this.
in a minute.
Oh god.
All right. So outside of the king, yeah, I would like Bungo outside of carving little wooden figures. For those in the know, he would generally just like to do little small quests. Expand his name, expand the legend.
Okay. Sure. So you can do the same. You can roll 5d10. All right, great. Yeah, you do a pretty good job sort of expanding your name. You do odd jobs here and there for the locals, typically sticking to jobs that like aren't too difficult, but you like absolutely crush them. So you look like some sort of god to the locals who are struggling. Like, oh, my wagon got stuck in the mud, and you like push it, like, and it just flies, and like things of that nature.
That's
Where
not
like,
really an adventure. I don't think I would do that.
all right, then you can
Help
describe.
push a
All right,
wagon.
you can describe. I'm just saying that you do like odd jobs here and there for the locals that make you seem like the folk hero that we all know that Bungo is.
Wait, folk heroes for you is help me bang in this
Dog,
nail that's
Johnny
loose.
Appleseed just planted trees.
Hey, I just want to be very clear that as the leader of the Batmen, Bungo needs to name drop the Batmen whenever he does these good deeds to spread word of the guild.
No, he's spreading bungo. You guys are weird.
Yeah,
This
I
is-
don't. There's got to be a better way to say that than spreading bungo.
Oh no, that's what it's called. There's enough bungo to be spread everywhere.
Bungo disappoints the Batmen.
He's may or not be ashamed of the rest of the Batman. Yeah, no, I don't think he would go around helping people hammer in loose nails and.
all right,
things
then
like
all
that.
right, then let's do this.
He's
Describe to
an
me like
adventurer.
describe to me one or two like small little quests or odd jobs that you take to increase your favor with the locals.
It would be like, oh, this kid has gone missing, or we need to find this rare herb.
So
You know.
basically acting on behalf of the Batmen to
Or there's a large raccoon about town causing mischief.
No, this is more like when Outcast members or Wu-Tang Clan members have their own single CD. That's kind of what's happening right now. I'm having my solo career right now. You guys are Destiny's Child. I can be Beyonce on the side.
Old shorty bastard.
Basically. Okay, sure. So Bungo, you do these tasks, we'll say, and your
They're quests and adventures, not tasks.
sure, you do these quests and adventures. You put out a solo album. It does, it's not doesn't come
Moderately
out
well.
it doesn't come out to rave reviews, but like you get like a silver album or like a gold album or something. And so your name is definitely sort of spreading about. You collect the locals offer you we'll say collectively some quantity of gold for your efforts. Would you like to accept it? Like as you do this, like they sort of just try to offer you gold, so we can just do it collectively at the end if you accept the gold or not.
Well,
But
yeah, I'll accept it, but I'll probably end up giving it away back toward the people
Okay.
and drinks and revelry
sure,
at the tavern.
sure,
Again,
sure. So you do the same to continue to like sort of spread your influence in the area.
yes.
All right. So for those of you who are unaware, Bungo and Avaris also did a side quest where that the ruler had, essentially, we'll say, posted on like a job board in the town. The side quest was that there was potentially a traitor in his court, and that he wanted help locating the sort of like finding out if there was indeed a traitor, and if so, which of the advisors in his court were were the traitor. And they went on a series of investigative journeys. They plotted amongst each other, and they reviewed all the evidence, and they fingered
They figured one.
Okay, but all right. Poor choice of words. They singled out advisor, sort of the advisor that they had coded advisor yellow, as the potential traitor. So the in his infinite wisdom, the great and powerful Orlando had advisor yellow executed on the strength of Bungo and Avaris's conviction. The deal was this: if Bungo and or Avaris had found the, I will actually read it. So, if the leader or the Orlando instructed them as follows: select the advisor you believe is guilty of this treasonous act, and I shall execute him on the strength of conviction. I will then call a meeting and alter the town defense structure this evening. If the orcs sneak through our new structure, you will not be rewarded. If the defensive scheme is successful, I will deliver on my promise to reward you. So, yellow was executed on the strength of Bungo and Avaris's conviction. The night the night passes, and the orc raid is successful. It would seem as if Avaris and Bungo have directly caused an innocent man to be executed.
I mean, we gave him lots of different alternatives to his plan. I wouldn't say directly. We definitely a contributing factor.
It was on us, dog.
Is there a widow and children left behind?
There's a girlfriend.
Little yellows.
I don't know about any children, but there's definitely a grieving ex-girl.
There is indeed. Yes, the quest unfortunately has your plot has failed. You did not find the traitor, and
Well, give it a little college try. No harm, no foul. Moving on.
So Bungo is just not resting on Bungo's conscience at all that you had an innocent man murdered.
I mean, we gave him plenty of different ways to resolve this, and even if we figured out who it was, because he killed him so late in the day, prior to when all these plans were made, we could kill the right person, and the orcs would have succeeded. Who's to say?
So just to be clear, when so just to be clear, you're saying that, so I can read direct quotes here. When I say, when Orlando says, like, you select yellow for execution, and you nod, that's somehow not you that's somehow you giving people numerous options.
I believe both Avaris and Bungo gave him different alternatives.
Sure. Avaris nodded because he did believe that Yellow was the traitor. He was just working off of flawed information.
I see. I wonder how he got that flawed information.
And if I recall, the lack of communication by Orlando is what led to this whole situation in the first place, since he didn't communicate in the first place that this quest was about specifically figuring out. So in the
It's just so strange. It's just so strange. I mean, we're getting into some meta stuff, but it's just so strange that Avaris does not have the same qualms. It's so wild that Avaris seems to have understood the quest quite well, and for some reason, Bungo just had this fundamentally flawed interpretation of what he was supposed to do.
Oh, really? Would you like to post said quest again, and please point out where it was specifically? Find the specific traitor, because I did not see those words anywhere in the 2 items that were sent to Bungo.
Again,
Perhaps
it's
you
just
gave a different set of
it's
things to
just
Avaris.
nope.
In
I
which
did
case,
most certainly did not. Nope, most certainly did not. I'm not going to argue with, but I most certainly did not, and I just did it like perfectly well. And you struggled so. I know that you're an intelligent man, Bungo, and you just struggled so much to understand just the basic
I went
premise
by
of
what
what
was
was going
written.
on.
I went by my statement of
Okay, anyway, so they murdered an innocent man, basically. This is the long and the short of it, and that should rest on your collective conscience, you murderers. Okay, so now we are going to go to Sizzler. Sizzler, what did you do on your 30-day adventure?
Sizzler was holed up in his lodgings the entire 30 days, tinkering, experimenting. He had a couple of schematics in his mind that he had been thinking about over the last week or so, ever since being freed. And he was able to have a wonderful invention. He brought a construct to life, and it's a giant toad. It's made of metal, and it's bedazzled and all sorts of shiny objects. It's not entirely clear if those shiny objects are of value or just kind of stuff you would find at Claire's or something. So this is Roberto, and he is the trusty toad mechanical servant that now serves Sizzler. Completing that construct, he was still unsatisfied and he wanted to keep experimenting. And he started work on building a Modron, which he became obsessed with after encountering it in the dungeon. So he put it together. He constructed it, and Dr. Frankenstein style. He tried all different ways to bring it to life, and it just wasn't working. He was missing something. It wasn't the same type of construct as the toad, and it just something wasn't clicking. So finally, one last experiment wrong, and Sizzler unfortunately accidentally killed himself. So
Perfect.
in the process, his a tiny piece of his essence made its way into the Modron construct, and that was the piece that was missing. And he is now inside of the Modron construct body, and Sizzler is now a Modron.
What?
So for the audience out there, what is a Modron?
It is a small creature, small in size. They come in different shapes. Encountered a sphere Modron, so that is what he constructed. But he fashioned it to look similar to himself, being a little self-absorbed. So it's got a beak. It's black in color, and he put on some of his own feathers, but they're kind of scattered, so it doesn't look like it's very feathered at all. It's got some wings on it, but he assumed it would be able to fly, but getting his realizing he's inside of it, he attempts to fly and is very, very disappointed that he's not able to do so with the tiny, tiny wings that he assumed would work on it.
Wait, this is the same thing that got summoned from the wild magic table?
You got it.
in
That's the
castle?
one.
Okay.
And so it's from a different plane of existence, and on that plane, a Modron would be immortal, but we are not on that plane, and thus his lifespan, being newly constructed, is about 100 years.
How would we know this is Sizzler?
He's got all the same memories. He can actually talk now, which is fortunate for him. He no longer has the Kenku curse because he's no longer a Kenku.
And he looks like Sizzler, right? Is that what you said?
In a very
Sizzler-like.
crude mechanical sort of way, he
Sure.
looks sort of like Sizzler.
Does
Yeah,
that answer?
okay.
Has anybody seen Sizzler in the last few days?
I assume he just went home to his flock. That's what birds do, right? They flock.
Well, sure, but his room's smelling kind of funny.
Well, he is a bird. Birds don't really bathe.
Kenku bathe. I've lived with him for years.
You've lived
Doesn't
with a kenku for
smell.
years?
Yes, did I not tell you?
No.
Yeah, I lived with a flock for several years. One of my best friends, when I was younger, was
That's weird. How
not that
old
weird
is
at all. That's what got me interested in
Avaris?
other culture.
How old is Avaris?
I'm 537.
You don't look a day over 530. So this was a while ago, huh?
Quite some time.
When you were younger, is that a relative term?
I spent about 70 years among the flock.
Yes. So knowing what you know about Kengu, which is apparently everything, watching your flock mates pass, is it not reasonable to assume that he went back?
Possible, but that was a lot like dead bird in there.
Again, hard to tell.
I'll knock on the door.
Sizzler will answer. Hey, Avaris.
Is it the same voice or is the voice like? Well, I guess it wouldn't be. It would be a totally new voice.
Yep, totally new voice.
Did he answer the door, like open the door and say hello, Avaris?
Did
Sure.
Sizzler make you?
Well,
Stay
we're
back, you
Sizzler.
beast.
It is us, Sizzler. We are Sizzler. I'll look behind myself to the bird corpse on the floor. Yeah, our experiment didn't go so well, but a flash comes over my eyes as an idea pops into Sizzler's head, and he'll waddle over and scoop his own corpse into his bag of holding.
That's not gonna come out. Everything's gonna smell like that from now on.
I'm not entirely surprised. Are you okay?
I'm
We
out.
seem to be okay. I like being able to communicate, but truth be told, I thought I'd be able to fly. This is pretty sad.
We'll work on that. I think, Sizzler, you're the first Kenku who's ever been able to talk normally.
Oh, we don't think we're really a Kenku anymore, but if we get credit for being the first Kenku to talk, we're all about it.
Who else is with you?
So this is out of context. This is to the group. Modron operate as a single entity, even though they are individual units per se. So they don't say I. They always speak in we or us or those pronouns.
Get into the weeds. Is that because they exist in a plane where they're all the same? Like you've never been to the Modron plane. Did you inherit any memories from the Modron?
It's just part of the construct as he built it. So that's how it works.
So he programmed in this personality function of we.
You got it, Bungo.
I think the correct answer is it's magic. I don't got to explain shit.
I figured I didn't have to go there, but you know.
Well, this is interesting because I've been curious about finding a way to break the Kenku's curse, and maybe this could be useful towards.
Well, if the answer is to kill ourselves, I don't know if that's the best answer.
That's not what I was
Probably.
thinking, but it means it's not something related to your soul as a kenku. It means it's something else. The curse may be on the body, which means it should be able to be broken.
I like where your head's at, Avaris. Let's work on that.
Let's.
This is
Give
weird.
you hold out my hand for a high five.
I give him the high five. I'm well versed in kenku culture. It's authentic.
Is it like a high 3? Does this Modron have like full 5 fingers?
He's got 5 digits. Yep.
Oh, so you've gained digits too?
And I built the digits, so.
Did you? Is that the only thing you gained with your digits? Huh? Huh? And I give him a little nudge.
Gross.
You were a guy once. You get it.
You get it.
Touche. That's really funny.
One more surprise for you, Avaris. Meet my new friend, Roberto.
Vaguely racist.
Greetings. That's quite a beast.
Does Roberto
He
speak?
doesn't speak. He can understand what you're saying though, as long as you're talking to him in common. He only listens to
Habla
me though.
inglés. Ribbit.
Bungo, he said common, not gnomish.
That is vaguely racist as well. Okay.
How big is he?
He's huge, right?
Roberto?
Roberto is huge. He's a large.
you-
Oh, fuck.
Wait, so you can ride him like a mount? Like we don't have to walk. We could just.
Unfortunately, only Sizzler can ride him.
Is he actually like large sized where he takes up multiple spaces? I think you can scale his token.
Oh,
You can.
Yeah, I will do that. But yes, he's large.
Right click on the token. And then in the advanced option, this should say set dimension.
Yeah, I'll figure it out in a second. But
I don't know. For players.
I don't
Certainly
think
DM.
players can do it.
DMs can do it very easily.
Yeah, we can do. We can work on it.
DM.
Yeah, we can work on that. Okay, so the 30 days has come to a close, and you
Drink a potion.
all right, you have 8 left. You go to one morning when you're waking up. A guard is in the tavern, not drinking breakfast, or not drinking or not having breakfast or anything along those lines. He just walks into the tavern and milling about or doing whatever you're doing, coming and going, and he waits for Lena. And when he sees Lena, either entering or exiting the tavern, sort of however it's going, he waves at you and like sort of calls you over, stands up.
Can I help you?
I was sent to inform you that the ship has arrived.
Thank you. We'll be right there.
He says, "Shall I have Oysen sent to the ship?"
Sure.
Very well. And he sets off.
Cool.
So you guys can sort of do anything you need to do in the town. You can make your way to the ship. whatever you guys would like to do.
How much gold did I collect?
We'll say you collected, I don't know, 50 gold. On and off.
Don't let the
All right.
space bugs.
And how much would it
bite.
be to buy drinks in a tavern for multiple rounds?
I mean, if you spent the 50 gold in drinks and like food and all kinds of stuff, if you accepted all 50 gold that you were offered and you spent it on drinks and around the tavern and whatnot, it was like a very wealthy month. Like you
Alright,
Yeah,
lived,
it's like a beer is like a copper.
yeah, you lived like very lavishly. Like it was the best beer in the region and like
No,
the
I
best
wouldn't have
food.
lived lavishly. I would have just tried to give it away in good spirits and stuff.
No,
so-
sure, that's what I mean. Like, but it would have been a very lavish, like for the individuals who were spending time around you, like it would have been a very lavish 30 days.
Sure. So I'll spend 30 of the 50 then.
Sure, still, it was like a very, very, like you guys were living like kings for 30 days. Anyone in your sort of surrounding area,
Like 100 beers a day.
yeah, just like you were just.
Yep. Sounds
It was,
about right.
it was flowing, and it was like fine beer, not like the common swill.
I would like to run to the general store real quick as soon as I know that the ship is.
Sure.
Lady Hercule, do you have any herbs to help with seasick?
She looks around, and you hear, I'm not sure. I'm not really an apothecary.
Thank you. And I'll quickly run out and see if I can find Jack, if he's anywhere to be found. I'll ask.
Sure. Jack
let the
is
space bugs
leaving
bite.
approximately the same time you are. He found a new caravan to set off to the town that he was originally heading to deliver medicine to them. And so he's like exiting the town as you sort of like run up to the caravan.
Jack.
He's like he's walking behind the caravan and he turns around. He's like, "Oh, hey, Vars."
Jack, do you know of any herbs that might help with seasickness?
It's like, yeah, obviously. Okay,
I am
do
a
not,
large,
Avaris, do not
semi-muscular
come with
man.
us. Avaris,
I can take it.
do not come with us. He's like very worried that you might ask to join the caravan. He's like,
No,
remember
I
what
have
happens.
to go on a ship.
Okay, just remember what happened. He's like saying it like more quietly now. Like, remember what happens to people around me.
Just treat Barnaby well, and I think you'll be fine.
He's like, I don't know what that means, but I
Just,
will.
just do it.
Okay. He actually hands you like a small vial, and he says like, if whenever you're feeling sort of ill, put a few drops of this in like some water or beer or something, and it should help you feel a little bit better.
Thank you. How much do I owe you?
He like nods his head that like he won't take anything. He's like, no, I appreciate, you were always kind to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.
It's like, all right, best of luck.
You as well.
All right, he turns and jumps on the back of the caravan and continues to roll away.
All right, I'll run back down to the docks and wait for Oyster.
Yep, Oisin's already there. The guards had brought him down, and he has like a few bags with him, smaller bags, like sacks, basically, and he has like a crate as well.
I'll help load it up.
I am a large,
All right, so you
semi-muscular
all
man.
get on
I can take it.
the. You start to walk on the ship. There are guards waiting there. They sort of point you in the right direction. They were standing there with Oisin. Oisin seems excited, but he doesn't say very much. You start to load the stuff up on the ship, and one of the deckhands, who is a half-orc, is the first deckhand you see. He sort of grunts at you, and he doesn't say anything, but he puts his hand out and sort of indicates that he wants you to put the stuff that you're carrying, Oisin's goods, down, like right there. And he grunts again, like, and points over for you to just sort of stand on the quarter deck. Let's see. Can you guys see?
How was our goodbye? Did people watch us leave or come out and say goodbye?
They cheering for
No.
Bungo?
No, they're not. They're super psyched about. No, I'm just kidding. They no, I don't think many people noticed. I mean, it was like the sort of the middle of a relatively busy day. It's the middle of the day. There's not a lot of fanfare, unless you wanted to cause some fanfare.
Ooh, I want to cast that spell I have to make like
Prestidigitation.
yes, to make like bat wings in the sky over the ship as we embark.
Okay. Can you guys see this or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ships.
I
Ship.
would hope there'd be some fanfare for us.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I guess as you're sort of, how do you do it, Lena? As you're leaving the tavern, like walking down to the ship, or as you get on the ship, how are you going to structure it?
It's
Give me a
on
visual.
the ship and it's like over the ship in the sky.
Okay. So there's this.
Like a rainbow.
Great.
But bat wings.
Okay, sure. Yep. There's this, like, these amazing sort of visual bat wings that appear. It looks like fantastic. The half orc is looking at it, and the guards are looking at it, and as you make your way to the quarterdeck, through the ship to the quarterdeck, you start to notice that like most of the crew that you see are also half orcs, men and women, and they're sort of milling about and hoisting ropes here and tying stuff off there and carrying provisions on and off the ship and dropping things off and picking things up on the dock. And there's sort of they're doing it at pace too. It seems like they're hustling to drop off what they need to drop off, pick up new provisions, and just get ready to just turn around and set off again. So no one really pays you much mind. No one else gets on. It just seems like it's the half orcs and you. There doesn't seem to be any other passengers that you see, and you await on the quarterdeck for instructions. After a while, a female half orc approaches, and she says, "All of you, come with me."
Yes, ma'am.
She leads you down to room 6 on the main deck. And she says, "This is where you'll be staying." She stops Sizzler as sort of Ribbit, or sorry, what is it?
Berto.
Roberto? Okay, so Roberto is following him around like dutifully, and she goes and she like puts her finger up. And she's like, "Nope, down in the hold."
On the hold? You mean us or my toad?
Nope, Toad.
Or Toad.
Toad's in the hole.
I Roberto on the nose. Down in the hole, buddy. I'll see ya.
You just put them in your bag?
No, that guy's big.
He is not gonna fit in the bag.
So she indicates that you can either bring Roberto with you, and Roberto can go with her, or Roberto, you can just instruct Roberto to follow her, but she would like Roberto to be placed in room 12.
12.
He's too big just to be hopping around. Yes.
Think of it this way. If the boat sinks, he can swim. He's a frog.
I'll let Roberto can fend for himself, so I'll let him go to the storage room.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yep, she just brings him to the storage room. There's nothing happens. There's no altercations or anything. He's big and he's not going to fit like amongst all the hustle and bustle of the ship. So, so she brings him down to room 12 and she like sort of looks at him for a minute and like she takes a ration out of her pocket and like crunches it up in her hand and sort of like tosses it on the ground, like unsure of whether or not this thing eats, and then closes the door. And he should be fine. It's well lit, or what have you, and there's some food on the ground, and you can come and go as you please. I don't think that anyone necessarily. So she comes back to the room after leading Roberto off, and she like flings the door open. She's very large in stature, and she says, "All right, well, we're gonna set off. So you all stay here, and the captain will address you when it's time."
Avaris goes to put a couple drops of that stuff under his tongue, but his hand is shaking so much, he just like gets one drop under his tongue and then spills the entire bottle all over his chest.
Varus, what are you doing?
I don't like boats.
This large half-orc woman slaps you on the back very hard, but like in a jovial way. It's just that like she's huge and you are not as big as her, and she laughs and she's like, "You'll get your sea legs soon enough, bud."
Sea legs? What's that? New legs?
She looks at like this weird mechanical type creature before her and like cocks her head sideways a little bit, and she's like, "Yeah, new legs."
Well, if you be so kind as to share a schematic for these sea legs with us, we'd most appreciate it.
She goes, "I'll get right on that. Anyway, Captain will come by. Stay in here until Captain comes by." And she goes and she starts to head toward the door.
Does anyone want to play poker?
Her ears perk up when you say poker, and she like sort of turns, and then she like turns her head back toward the door and is like, no, gotta work, and leaves.
What about you folk? Oh my god, my party members are the worst.
Has the ship started to like sway at all, even the smallest?
No, it hasn't. It has not left the dock yet. It just seems like she's getting you out of the way of the comings and goings, and that the quarterdeck that you were standing on is how like the boat is directed. It's where the steering wheel is on the boat, and so she was just sort of getting you out of the way, putting you where you're going to be staying. This will be your room, for sort of the while you are on this boat. And so she was just sticking you in your room off to the side so that they can do, the crew can do what they need to do so that they can just go and start heading in the direction that they need to go.
I'll play a few hands while I can still keep a straight face then.
I would like to leave the room as soon as she leaves.
Okay. All right. So you go to leave the room. Everyone notices. Well, I mean, anyone who has a passive perception that can notice a 10 stealth notices.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm trying to hide, yet it's like the middle of the day.
Right. You see him like sneaking out of the room, but like you all see it.
Have fun storming the forecastle.
What?
Oh, that was a really good Princess Bride / ship joke. Someone out there thought that deep cut was
because
great.
You know a ship name doesn't mean it's a great joke.
Forecastle is short for forecastle.
I learned something today.
Okay,
I
so
like how the legend also has boat as one of the items on it.
hey,
It's
don't you?
this boat.
Yeah, it's the
Oh.
escape boat, I think.
It's the dinghy.
Escape boat, I see.
Yeah, the dinghy. Yeah. Okay, so Bungo, what are you gonna do? You, Lena, and Avaris are gonna play a couple hands of poker.
Yeah.
Oisin, come learn something about bluffing.
Okay, so
Uh,
Oisin was gonna stay there. Bungo's escaping. Making an attempt at being stealthy.
Bungo's
What
like a hamster.
what are you doing, Sizzler?
Sizzler's gonna be standing perfectly still and watching the game and not moving, not blinking, just staring.
Okay. All right, Bungo.
Like,
So what do you?
a part of him feels like he probably would have enjoyed this in the past, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't feel like it anymore.
Okay. All right, Bungo. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm just going up to look at the masts and sails and all. I'm looking at all these ropes as kind of like a jungle gym. And I wanna
Okay,
find-
there are many. Like you see, we'll say, a lot of half orcs, just all over the place, coming and
Sure.
going. It's sort of similarly, and you're like walking around them, like looking up at them. They're tall, they're strong, and they don't really pay you any mind.
Yeah, and I'm nimble and I'm passing through their legs and stuff. I want to go up into the rope.
Like where the sail is, or
The rigging.
Yeah, where all the ropes are, the
sure,
rigging.
yep, go for it. So you're like
That's it,
climb.
that's
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
like
I'm just
climbing just around the. Okay, that nothing
jumping
specific
around,
beyond that.
looking
Just
for a
like
nice perch.
okay, sure.
Find a nice little spot, just kind of hang out and relax on mast.
There is a crow's nest. It doesn't, and it's not indicated on the map per se, but we'll say that the crow's nest is, if you want to put a little circle on the map, right? Yep, exactly where you are. Yep, we'll say the crow's nest is right there. So if you want to be in the crow's nest, that's where you go.
Sweet.
You could even put like a little permanent circle there if you'd like, and hang
Yeah, I
out.
mean, unless there's an orc already there, then I just kind of would rather be by myself, maybe on top of the sail or something.
Yeah, no, there's no orc there. There's no orc there at all, so you can do that. Okay, so you're hanging up at the crow's nest. You notice Lena and Avaris. Do you like actually want to do some sort of contest type poker for some exchange of funds, or are you just
Yeah.
all right, Avaris?
I'll play for a gold.
Okay. All
and
right, so
I'll buy Oisin in for a gold as well.
okay, so it's a three-way poker match.
Yep.
All right,
And
let's do it.
Sizzler's just watching the three-way.
Okay.
Phrasing.
There's
Okay.
a little red light blinking on his forehead.
Boop, boop, beep.
All right, so let's see. What's the best way to do
There is
poker?
literally a gambler's kit that Lena has proficiency with, I believe.
I have a deck of playing cards.
Okay. So Lena, do that. Do you have? Is that like one of your proficiency skills, a gambler's kit, or?
No, I just have a playing card set.
Oh, okay. All right. So
And a
You
heart.
sure you don't have under tool proficiencies and custom skills below passive perception?
Oh yeah, I think we did that instead of the harp when we made her.
cool.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so do this. So you each put a gold into the pot, including Oisin. So Lena, everyone roll to me, and I will roll for Oisin. Lena, you can roll. Lena, roll it to the GM.
How do I do that?
Okay, sure, not a problem.
/
So
GR space 1d20 plus whatever your modifier is.
sure,
Or
if you
button.
go to your character sheet. Okay, you can explain it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, go to the cog. and on the right hand side, there's something that says whisper rules to GM. I would just change that to whisper toggle, and then you'll see a toggle pop up that says public or to GM.
Nope, still didn't get it.
That's public. Yep.
I don't get it.
So go to you've got core bio spells cog.
Can you just
Go to the
come
cog
upstairs
at the
and do
top
it?
Hold on,
right.
I can do it for you, Lena. Hold on.
What cog?
I'm already in it. Hold on 1 second. Where is the toggle? Oh, here it is. Whisper toggle.
So now
Okay,
you see above inspiration and armor class, you've
There's-
got public
And
2G.
GM on your character sheet.
Oh, okay, I
There you
see.
go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so everyone, both of you roll to me, and I'm gonna roll for.
What are we rolling?
You are rolling. Well, she rolled her proficiency. You can just roll. I don't know what. Propose a good opposing roll that you think. Is it intelligence? Would you some intelligence based roll?
I think
I think it's
straight
charisma.
intelligence is probably fine.
Or
charisma.
perception if you're trying to read a hand or something.
I think it'd be like insight, but I'm not.
That too.
I don't think I'm much of a bluffer. I think I would just
Considering
play
you
to the
wouldn't even
hand.
save-
You would play it
considering
straight.
you wouldn't even save 10 rounds.
Avars probably would play it straight. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, any some sort like insight would be fine or something along those lines. Yeah, intelligence for you is fine as long as you're gonna play it straight up. Okay, let me roll for Oysen. Okay, so there's 1 round of betting. Lena, since you went first, it starts with you.
I bet 2 gold.
2 additional gold, so you have 3 total.
Yep.
Okay, betting is to you now, Avars.
Yeah, okay. I'll call that.
Okay, Oysen puts his cards down. Like shrugs your shoulders. All right, so do you want to do another round of betting or another card, we'll say? Yeah, do that. Roll to me again into GM.
Do I think she's got better cards than me?
Right. Okay, so this is going to be the total. So there's one more. There's going to be one more round of betting. And this is it's the total between both of your rolls. Whoever's the higher total is going to win. One more round of betting. It starts with Lena.
I raise it 2 more gold.
I'll call.
All right. Both of you type your total number into the chat, and whoever wins the whole pot. So close. Avars, you were
Very
so close. You were so close. Okay, Lena wins the hand.
Aw, yeah. How much gold do I get? 7?
7.
You guys want to play again?
Yes.
I think I'm okay. I meant when I said that I was going to buy Oysen in for a gold that we were going to be playing for like silver pieces, and the budget was like a gold.
Lena went ham. Lena saw the opportunity to make money, and she just like ran. She's like, nope, 50 gold. Okay.
I mean, we could play with copper
And
if you're
Oysen,
poor.
that's what they call bad beat.
He nods. He like has a little notepad that he wrote down like bad beats on.
By Dre.
Bad beats by Lena. He shows you Sizzler. He like points. Bad beats.
Shake my head.
Okay. All right. So just then, when that hand ends, you feel the ship like lurch forward.
Is there a porthole nearby?
No.
I'm gonna go run and try to find one.
You do not see. Maybe there are 2 portholes on this level that you're on.
I'll just run out to the main deck then and lean over the railing.
Okay.
Preparatory.
All right. Yep. You lurch forward and you set off. There's a lot of like shouting and orcs, half orcs rather, running around the decks. Yelling and untying ropes here and tying ropes there, and the sails are going down, and the wind is sort of pulling you off. There are also several orcs.
It's doing what?
The ship is like pulling off of the dock. There are also several orcs who are in the deck below the one that you got, the lower deck. They are rowing. There are several. It's not shown. I could draw it on, but there are several orcs that are in the lower deck who are rowing. Not many, maybe 8 total maximum, but who are sort of giving the ship a nudge in the right direction.
Are these different than the half orc crew?
Yeah. Say it again, John.
I was asking if these rowers are, because you said orcs, are they different than the half orc crew?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're all. Anytime I accidentally refer to a crew member as an, they're all that you've seen. They're all half orcs. So some you actually are in your room for quite a while, and or in your various places for quite a while. We'll say, like, theoretically, you played several hands of poker, or seemingly a significant amount of time has passed. Particularly if you're outside of the room, you notice that the afternoon wanes on and it starts to become dark, and still there is no. The captain does not is sort of nowhere to be found. The captain does not go to the come to the chambers. Not only that, but you just do not see the captain at the helm or anything. So you're not sort of sure exactly what's going on in that regard. So it starts to become evening. Again, it seems like the crew is fairly focused on getting the ship out to sea and in the right direction and getting there fast, and they don't pay much mind to you or sort of what's going on, other than their like very specific roles. Then at a certain point, one of the half orcs one of the half orc crew pokes his head in and sort of looks around the room that you're in, quickly closes the door, and then a minute or two later, the half orc woman who you had met earlier comes in and like looks around the room and says, "Where did that other one go?"
I am leaned over one of the railings outside on the main deck.
Sure.
Heaving.
Sure. She saw you, and so she's asking where the other one went.
I think he went to the privy.
All right. Well, are you hungry?
Yeah.
All right. So she sort of like moves her, beckons you to come with her, and brings you across the deck. She pats Avaris on the back again, like way too hard for you, Avaris, and she's like, "You get your sea legs yet?" As she walks by. she just sort of ignores you vomiting, and she leads anyone who wants to follow her to room 4, which is sort of it's so loud. Like you open the door and you're shocked that you couldn't hear sort of the hustle and bustle and the raucous behavior that was going on when the door was closed. They must have like soundproofed this room or something, because it's like crazy loud. There's several half orcs in the room, maybe 6 or 7, and they're just yelling and eating, and there's like food sort of being thrown, and it's like what you would imagine like I don't know, like pirates or something do when they have meals. And the half orc woman knocks one of the male half orcs whose crew members who's eating sort of out of the way, and pushes his plate down, and that's one chair, and she like beckons for Lena to sit down. There's 2 empty chairs next to it. If Sizzler can sit down or wants to sit down, and then she sort of like nudges Oysen into the seat next to Lena.
Sizzler will pop a squat.
All right. So Sizzler takes the other chair. She says like, all right, be right back. And she leaves. And she leaves you for a couple minutes in the room with sort of all of this very these very boisterous half orcs who basically again pay you sort of no mind. All right. So, do any of you want to do anything?
I can try to shoot the shit with them.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
So do you like tap the half orc like next to you, or you just say that out loud?
I just say it.
Okay. They roll a persuasion. Okay. Yeah, they sort of like look at you, like they just like it stops, like all the boisterousness just stops, and they look at you, and they like sort of cock their head sideways, like trying to size you up, and then one of them goes like, "What's up?" And then they all explode in laughter.
I'll laugh with them.
They're like slapping the table and like having like they think it's hilarious.
Do they have like a beer or
Yeah.
anything in front of them?
Yeah.
I'll pour myself one and like give them like a cheers.
Sure, they're into it. They all cheers, and they're just like laughing and again like talking amongst themselves, but they like seem fine with you. Like immediately after you do that, the half orc woman comes back, and she like slams 3 plates down in front of you, not in like an aggressive way, and more like a she's way too strong way, and it has like various like meats and stuff on it.
Cool. 3 plates, not just for me. There's some for
Yeah,
like Sizzler.
Right, there's
Okay.
a plate in front of each of you, and then she's like, "All right, well, after you're done here, go back to your room. The captain should be in shortly."
Okay, I eat my food and drink the beer and laugh with the orc people.
Okay, yeah, they're not like talking about anything specific, just like sailing, and it doesn't seem like it also doesn't like people are coming and going. It also doesn't seem like they're like chilling. You know what I mean? It seems like they're like taking their break, eating their food, and then getting back to work. But in the meantime, while they're eating their food, they're sort of like having a good time, blowing off steam.
Sizzler is very excited about this meal, and he's getting used to his new smaller body, so his legs don't reach the floor, so he's kind of kicking them like excitedly, like a kid. And he reaches out, grabs some of the meat, takes a big hearty bite, starts chewing, and realizes he can't taste anything at all. And he also then realizes he's not really hungry. But to Reboot, he continues to eat the entire thing. So he eats his entire plate. Doesn't feel anything though. Doesn't taste anything.
Confused. Sizzler's confused. Oisin picks at his plate. He eats. He's small, so he doesn't need a whole lot. So he doesn't finish his entire plate, but he eats until he's relatively satisfied. The food is not bad. It's not good, but it's not particularly bad. And when Oisin is done, which is sort of sooner than the other two of you, because he's small, he sort of like pushes his plate forward and like looks out the door, or like looks toward the door. Yeah, that's that. So he like looks at Lena, and he looks at like Sizzler, and then he like looks at the door, and then he looks at Lena, and he looks at Sizzler, and he looks at the door.
Do you need to pee, little buddy?
And he's like, no, but I'm done, sir.
Want to go back?
Alright, Lena finishes up, does one final cheer, downs the rest of her beer, and then goes back to the room.
All right.
Everyone else.
Yeah, Oisin will go back to the room too, but he sort of like hovers over Avaris for a little bit first.
Before Sizzler joins the rest of the folks leaving, he'll reach for a beer at the table because he's curious now. Take a big swig. Also realize he can't taste the beer either. And he'll slowly trot his way out, realizing he
Poor Sizzler.
Oisin, is there food in?
He's like, yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, there's food. Would you like me to bring you some?
No, I'll get it. Thank you, though. I'm gotta eat to keep my strength up. This journey is going to be miserable. I'm sorry.
He sort of like reaches down to try to pick you up.
I'm okay. I'll be in a moment.
He nods and like walks into room 6 with Lena and I assume Sizzler.
I'll just go in and force some food down and drink plenty of water with it.
Okay.
And then head back.
All right. Bungo, what are you doing there during this time?
And lie down.
Okay. Bungo, what are you doing during this time? Are you just watching sort of the horizon, watching it go from day to night in the crow's nest?
This is the first time he's on a boat.
Oh, is he
So,
psyched?
yeah, no, he's up there. He's just kind of watching the sea, the bobbing back and forth, letting the sea go or the air go through his hair, his flowing locks. He's he ate his ration up there. He's just kind of having a good old time.
All right. The
on
you
sunscreen?
see the orc woman. You see her controlling the boat. She's the one actually manning the controls, and she's sort of like
helming the ship.
Yeah, you see her, looking, and she looks down at like this map she has, and then she, sort of like uses this instrument to like check the horizon, and she, as she's doing this, she sort of puts it all down, and as she's doing that, she looks up at the crow's nest and notices you and says like, "Hey, what are you doing up there?"
How does she notice me? I don't think I'm taller than the size of the crow's nest.
Wait, so you're not even attempting to see over the crow's nest? You're just like in the crow's nest, not even looking like anywhere.
Like I peek over every now and then, but like it'd be exhausting to like hold myself over the walls of the crow's nest all the time.
Wait, okay, so that's fine. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were like trying to like stand and like look over the edge and like you're reveling
every now and then.
Okay, all right, never mind then. That's fine. So she doesn't know you.
Like
she doesn't.
I'm not actively like Titanicing it,
Sure. Okay, I get it now. Sure. All right. Yep. Not a problem. Okay. Sure. So she doesn't see you then, but when you do peek over, you see that she is the one at the helm of the ship. From time to time, when you do peek over. Okay, so the rest of you are.
Wait, one question.
Sure.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I know that Avaris was hell-bent on bringing Orson with us. Did he ever ask him if that's what he wanted? Or did you just make him come?
I
don't
would have
believe-
discussed it with him
Phrasing.
over the month.
Oh god damn, that's crazy.
I
Did
would
you
have
make that
discussed it
little
with
co- Did you
him
make that
over
little
the
boy
month.
come? Hmm?
Okay, all right, enough of that.
Not me. It's Avaris.
I see. Okay, Avaris,
He's the one that wanted to bring little boys.
can you answer that
along.
question in a non-grotesque way, please?
Yeah, what I said was I would have discussed it with him over the month that I was tutoring him and talked about whether he wanted to go back to the monastery with whoever or take his chances traveling with us.
Yeah, I think that he would have seemed fairly happy to travel with you. He was going to have to travel either way, and Avaris has been so nice to him that he thought a life of being tutored and traveling with Avaris was a much better life for him.
I'm not just gonna like kidnap this dude.
Thank you for kidnapping me, sir.
Just saying it wasn't covered.
Okay, so you are all back in the room again. The day is passing fairly quickly. I mean, you notice that as the day is, day turns into night. You have dinner. Night just continues to wane on, and eventually, it's approximately whatever time you maybe want to go to bed. It's like getting toward the part of the night where you typically a normal person would typically go to sleep, whatever time that is, 8, 9, 10. And the captain's still nowhere to be found. Does not come to the room. No one else comes to the room. You seem to just sort of be left to your own devices for the time being.
Before I forget, I drink a potion.
It's still night.
Yeah, I think it's
Still
the
the same day.
Yeah, it's the same day that you drank the last potion.
Mm.
I appreciate you being on the ball. So what would you guys like to do? Would you like to stay up? I don't know, and maybe wait for the captain? Would you like to go to sleep for the night? What would you like to do?
I'll go check the helm.
Okay.
Is it the female orc helming the ship?
Yes.
Ma'am,
She looks up at you.
are you the captain?
She says, "Nope, I'm the first mate. And I thought I asked you to stay in the room."
Is the captain okay?
As far as I know, it's just my turn.
Should we actually expect to see the captain, or are we going to be left to our own devices?
Nope, I'm sure he'll swing by. He controls everything on this ship. He's just probably busy.
Very well, thank you, ma'am.
She nods, goes back to looking at a map.
If you're giving the option to sleep to Bungo, then Bungo will be sleeping.
Sure. In the crow's nest. Bungo. Are you sleeping in the crow's nest?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And typical Bungo snore fashion.
Sure. So it's like 10 p.m. Bungo's going to sleep in the crow's nest. Avaris, you go back to room 6. What did the three of you do? Oisin's like, that's late for a however 8-year-old or however old Oisin is, and so he's like tucked into bed.
I'll stay up for at least another 3 or 4 hours before I go into training.
Sure. Lena?
I'll go to sleep.
Okay.
Sizzler doesn't feel tired, strangely, so he's gonna pace back and forth.
Just got a red light beeping in between his eyes.
All right. So those of you who Bungo, Lena, and Oysen go to sleep. Sizzler, sort of a omni, oh, like just sort of like an awake, like a sentry or something, a mechanical sentry, and Avaris, you stay up. What do you say? Approximately 3 more hours.
Yeah, and then I'll trance.
Okay, sure. So everyone except for Sizzler, but to a certain extent, to what applies to Sizzler applies to Sizzler. In this regard, is awoken or startled by a horrific, like incredibly loud scream. Like after several hours, so say approximately 4 hours. You don't know when you wake up, how long it's gone by, but it's been several hours. But you all wake up.
There's nothing before the scream. No, like.
Nope.
Definitely just straight scream out of the blue.
Correct.
Is this
Bungo
boat
does
the
not wake up.
Oriental Express?
And then like the audience sees this fog dissipate on the back of the boat where the name is, and it says Oriental Express. No. So yeah, there's a you hear a scream.
I'll rush out to the main deck.
All right, the
I'll
first
look at
mate.
Lena and ask, does he always run the screams like that?
Yeah.
I guess we should follow him just in case he gets murdered too.
I'm not 100% that Bungo wakes up.
Okay, sure. So there are orcs running up and down sort of the stairs that are surrounding you guys, like all running to. You hear like a lot of footsteps, basically. But you are the you three, I think, or 4 if Oysen's there. He's tentative, but he'll follow Varus slowly. You 4 are sort of the first on the scene, so to speak, and the orc woman is the one who screamed, and you see her walking down the stairs from 2 down like toward where Sizzler is, and she looks down and she says like, I can't believe he was murdered.
Who was murdered?
And she like looks at you, and she looks at you, Sizzler, and then she scans over to Lena, and then she scans over to Varus, and she says, how did the 3 of you get here so quickly?
He just
I
came
heard a
over from the next
scream
room.
during my meditations and came out.
I think I'm going to need you to get back in your room.
Still
She,
haven't
like,
answered our question.
And she's like forcefully walking down the stairs now toward you. Like she's rolling up her sleeves, and you just see these like huge muscles on this like very tall half orc woman, and she's sort of aggressively indicating that it's time for you to go back to your rooms.
I'll usher
wait,
Oysen back
what
into the room.
happened? What happened?
She says, I'll figure out what happened. Thank you very much. One of our crew members was murdered.
What? Well, lucky for you, we're the Batman grade A detectives.
She literally pushes you toward the door to the room.
That's kind of rude.
And she's like, you notice that she is very strong.
Go back to the room and sulk.
Sizzler?
Guess I'll just waddle into the room.
Okay. She
This
says.
is very rude.
She says, now don't leave this room again until either I or the captain comes to get you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Sure.
she slams the door, and then you hear a key go into the lock, and it click, and you hear like these heavy footsteps walk away. You can probably hear like a bunch of yelling and her like barking orders at people, and a bunch of like commotion above you on 2, which is sort of the deck above where you are, like a bunch of commotion and like and things of that nature as well.
Hey, Lena, don't you have some sort of mind talkie spell?
I do.
Should tell Bungo what's going on here. Maybe he can get us out of here.
I don't know if it'll work. Where is Bungo?
He's got to be on the boat somewhere.
I can try. I'll try to message Bungo.
I like how that you guys don't share any concern for Bungo until you guys are in trouble.
we just woke up.
We just went to sleep, ate dinner, spent most of the day without Bungo, but now we're worried about him.
In all fairness, Bungo goes
Maybe
off
you're the
and
one that
does
got
his
murdered,
own
we don't know.
thing.
There you go.
Bungo, were you murdered?
Can I message Bungo? Does it work from here?
I don't know. Click message. Let's see.
$120 feet,
I mean, you point your finger to
30
him.
yards.
Would you be able to point your finger at him?
I imagine she would just do it until it worked.
It's like shooting off messages.
Bungo, 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 Bungo.
It's like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, like Penny. Or Bungo. 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 Until he answers.
Sure. Okay, Bungo. So you receive a message
The old Marco Bungo.
from
routine.
Lena, and she's just like shooting off messages in each and every direction until she maybe hits you. And if you don't respond, she just does it some indefinite period of time.
Oh wait, 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. How much wood is she
Oh,
firing through?
way more
That's
than
probably not 3 feet.
No, probably not 3 feet. Not if you're on 6. You only have to shoot through 2.
And we're
Like
saying
that.
So if we were further down, it probably wouldn't work. But
Oh yeah.
The
If you guys were like in 12,
sail-
if you're in 12 where Ribbit is, there's absolutely no way that would make it.
the sails aren't 30 yards high. Is that correct?
God
Probably.
no, that's
No, probably
90
not.
feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, yeah,
They're
I
not-
just figured there's also some difference between like the quarter deck.
Yeah, there's some, but it's probably just
Alright,
makes it
so
just.
it's-
Typically, that mast isn't going to be taller than the ship is long.
Okay, but you're whispering, and the scream did not wake. That's an issue. Hi.
But it's like right in your ear.
Yeah, like Bungo's going to wake up every time somebody whispers in his ear at night. I don't think so.
Okay, say what you.
If it's his name, he'll wake up like a child. Like they don't hear smoke alarms, but they hear their parents saying their name.
Lena, say what you're gonna say, and Bungo may or may not respond.
Say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Bungo. Bungo. Bungo.
This is Bungo radar.
Bungo, Bungo.
Bungo. Bungo. So what's the message?
That is the message.
Bungo.
The message is Bungo. Well, considering I snore saying Bungo,
It's just more bungos to his pile
it's
of
just
bungos.
more Bungo. Yeah.
Okay, fine, then Bungo doesn't respond.
All right.
I don't know, he might be dead. He's not answering.
I hope not.
She said it was one of their crew members. She would know Bungo's not part of their crew.
Unless Bungo enlisted in the crew, and that's where he's been all afternoon and evening.
Or Bungo's the murderer. Dun dun dun.
Also very possible. I mean, he's already murdered someone in the last 30 days, so.
I don't remember.
He
killing
got a
anyone.
taste for it. He can't quit.
Rip Mr. Yellow.
Oh, did Bungo hit him with one of his weapons?
Gone but not forgotten.
Not my king. Not my king.
All right, so here is what we're going to do. We're going to call it a night a little bit early tonight because the next exposition is fairly long and the things that you have to do are going to be fairly intense. So we'll save that for early next session. So as it stands, oh, Lena, did you weren't here last week, and I don't know if it was communicated to you, but you get to level up to 5.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So you can do that between sessions. And Avaris, you did that already, right?
Pretty sure I'm level 5.
Okay, cool. And Bungo, you
Yeah, I
did that as
did.
well, right?
Yeah, I'm 5.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so Lena, you can do that. And what were you gonna say, Craig?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about leveling up Orson.
Sure. Yeah, we can. Let's chat about it over Discord this week, but we can level up Orson and set him up for like his actual character sheet and stuff this week.
We'll obviously include you, Avaris,
Word.
since you're his teacher.
His kidnapper.
Possibly lover.
Okay. Definitely
Nope.
not.
Whoa.
He did
Definitely
make him
not.
come.
Definitely not lover. 100% not lover.
Nope.
To be. That is not canon. There's no man
That's
boy
right.
love.
There's no love. Might just be lusted.
Oh God. Okay. You know what? It was a fantastic decision to end early tonight because this is getting out of control.
Yeah, there's no room in Avaris's heart after King Rimple.
Yeah, King Rimple. He's still.
There wasn't even any room for King Rimple.
He is still mourning the loss of his star-crossed lover, King Rimple.
Hey, wait, can I just say something real quick?
Of course.
Oh.
Speaking of Avaris love, I don't know if he told you last week, but Avaris and I are totally engaged now.
He did.
Like
Congratulations.
actually in real life, not our
Right,
characters.
IRL, right.
Yeah.
Nice. Way to
Like
lock
that.
that down.
I know, like that Beyonce song.
Right?
He put a ring on it.
No, that's very exciting news.
Yes.
2 Beyonce references in one night.
Congratulations to the both
I
of
told you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are Destiny's Child.
Although I would say, Katie, if you showed up last week, I would have said congratulations. Avaris got my congratulations last week as well.
Oh, okay.
No, that's very exciting news though. And John was telling me like the hilarious, what was it, Diet Pepsi story or something.
Yeah.
Yes. We have pictures of Diet Pepsi.
That's really cool and very exciting. All right, great. So we can and any other like procedural stuff or stuff that you guys want to bring up, we can certainly talk about in Discord this week. Craig, you and I can sort out. You and I and Avaris can use the chat that we already have to sort out Oyson's character sheet and whatnot. I'm fine with that. And then just be prepared next week to work on the mystery aboard the ship version of the Oriental Express.
Yes, that's Oriental.
Yeah, exactly.
That's racist. I just like
SS Oriental.
Ooh,
Oh, I like it.
I actually might steal that.
All right.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Night, everyone.
Okay.
Night.
Bye.